Welcome back students to your online classes. Now today we will start a new chapter, that is chapter number 10, reproduction in plants. Okay. In this chapter we will learn about first of all what is reproduction, then we will learn about the different modes of reproduction, how plants reproduce by asexual reproduction and vegetative propagation. Then we will learn about the sexual reproduction in the plants. Okay. So before starting the chapter, we should first know what is reproduction. You know that all the living organisms grow old by time. Okay. And as they grow old with time, they eventually die. That means an individual organism will die, but the race will continue. Race means that particular type of organism will continue. The species of that organism will continue. Okay, because the living organisms have the ability to produce the same type of organisms before they die. Okay, reproduction literally means to produce young ones of the same kind. What is reproduction actually? It is the process by which the living organism produce offspring. Offspring means young ones, and that young ones will be similar to the living organisms in their structure and function. Okay, the facial means like you can see the animals, the dogs are similar to the baby dogs, the cats were similar to the baby cats. Okay, but the human beings are like facially they are not similar. Only 50% of the human beings are similar facially, but their structure and function are similar. So reproduction is actually that process in which the living organisms produce their young ones, and that young ones are similar to the organisms in their structure and function. Okay. It is actually the process of formation of new individuals of a species from the existing ones. Whatever organisms are existing that time on this earth, by this process the same type of organisms also starts to reproduce, so that the life continues on the earth. Okay. The mechanism of reproduction or propagation is different in different organisms. Obviously, the way by which the humans reproduce is not similar with the animals, is not similar with the plants. It differs from organism to organism. Okay, but the basic thing that they produce offspring is similar. Okay. Like some plants like mango reproduce with the help of their seeds. Some plants are regenerated from their leaves, from their stems, from flowers. Okay, and in some organisms like amoeba, splitting of parent body give rise to two cells. So each and every organism, like different organisms are there on this earth, and all these organisms have their different mode of reproduction. Okay, based on that we will learn about the modes of reproduction. There are basically two modes of reproduction, and it depends on the number of individuals involved in producing the progeny. Progeny means the next generation, the offspring. Okay, how many individuals will involve in the production of the offspring? On the basis of that, there are two modes of reproduction. Okay, the first one is asexual reproduction. Asexual means here A means one, sexual means sex. One sex means one parent will involve in the production of offspring. So that mode of reproduction is known as asexual reproduction. And next one is sexual reproduction, in which both the parents means the female as well as the male parent will involve in the production of offspring. That is known as sexual reproduction. So first of all we will learn about the asexual reproduction. Okay, in the asexual reproduction, single individual will give rise to the new organism. Single individual will be involved. Okay, single individual will involve, and it will only produce the new individual. The new individual will be produced by the single organism, single individual only. Okay, and this type of reproduction is mostly common in lower organisms, lower plants. Okay, asexual reproduction usually occurs when conditions are favorable for proper growth and development of the new organism. Whoever new organism will be grown, for that, for the development of this new organisms, the condition should be favorable, the condition should be proper. Okay, then only the single individual will be able to give rise to the new organism. Okay, whereas in the sexual reproduction, two individuals are required or involved for the production of new organism. Okay, two individuals or two cells of separate sexes. Separate sexes means one should be male and the another should be female. The separate sexes will be required to give rise to the new offspring. Okay, the male parent will produce the male gamete and the female parent will produce the female gamete. Okay, actually the cells which we get from the male and the female, that are known as gamete. Okay, the cell which is given by the male is known as male gamete, and the cell which is given by the female is known as female gamete, and both these gametes will fuse together and they will form a new cell that is known as zygote, and this zygote will give rise to the new organism. Okay, these two gametes, the male gamete and the female gamete, they fuse together and they form a new cell that is known as zygote. This zygote further divides and forms the new offspring, new organism. Okay, so this is how the reproduction takes place. Now this is very brief about the sexual and the asexual reproduction. Now in the next topic we will learn about the detailed methods of asexual reproduction. Okay, now students will first learn about the asexual reproduction in plants. Asexual reproduction in plants is basically divided into 5 types. That is, first one is budding, second is fragmentation, third is spore formation, fourth is natural vegetative propagation, and fifth one is artificial vegetative propagation. The fourth and fifth one we will discuss later in this chapter, because that too are having a very good number of parts. Okay, so today we will learn about the budding, fragmentation and spore formation. So first of all, what is budding? In this method, bud means कुछ bulge out होना, ठीक है, निकलना. Fine. So in this method, a new organism get developed from a small bulb-like projection on the body of an organism. Suppose this is the body of an organism. Okay. And from this body of an organism, a small bulging part will starts to evolve. Okay, likewise this. Okay, so this bulge comes out from the body of an organism and the new organism will starts to develop from this bulging part. Okay, bulb like projection on the body of an organism. This projection is actually known as bud. Okay, and on this only this is process named or called as budding. Okay, this bud remain attached to the body of a parent for a while before becoming free as an individual organism. Means till the proper growth will not take place in this bud will remain attached to the body of the parent organism. Okay, and once the proper growth takes place, it is formed we can say once it will be completely similar to the parent plant or parent organism, it will detach from the parent body. Okay, the new organism formed is completely identical to the parent organism. This budding is actually seen in yeast. Okay, this is actually seen in yeast. Now with this process only we will once discuss an activity, that is your activity 1, in which we will observe the budding in yeast. For this activity we want some small piece of yeast cake, okay, from a bakery. Okay, and then this will have yeast cells in it, because that cake is made up of yeast basically, so it has yeast cell. For that we need some warm water in a glass beaker, and then we will dissolve a spoonful of sugar in it. Okay, in a glass of water we will dissolve a spoonful of sugar, and then we will take a small piece of yeast cake and then put it in the water. When we will keep the beaker with a piece of yeast cake under a lamp to keep it warm. Okay, after an hour, take a drop of the liquid from the beaker and then we will put that liquid on the slide. Slide is a glass plate, okay, which is used to see the things under microscope. Okay, we will put a drop of mixture from the glass beaker, okay, on this slide, and then we will cover it with a cover slip and observe under the microscope. We will see that the yeast cells is in the process of budding. Okay, that means this is the parent organism, okay, and on that parent organism there is a chain. There is a chain of new offsprings. Okay, new offspring. This whole process is known as budding. Okay, this type of structure you will see on this glass slide. Okay, so this is how the yeast develops by the method of budding. Again, I am repeating, in the process of budding, a bud-like structure starts to evolve out, a bulb-like structure starts to project out, and this will remain attached to the parent body till it become identical. Afterwards, after some time, it will get detached and then it will develop into the other, or means like the same process will going on in the birds. Okay, next is fragmentation. Next process is fragmentation. In this process, in this form, an organism gets split into two or more pieces or fragments. Fragmentation word came from fragment. Fragment means टूटना, pieces के अंदर टूटना. So what happens, an organism will split out into the pieces, and from these pieces new number of organisms will split out. Okay, each fragment develops into, now suppose if this one is an organism, then it will split into the two or more parts. Then one piece will again develop, grow, or fully grown into individual. A mature fully grown individual will be developed from these pieces, and then again they will get fragmented. Okay, and then further development of organism takes place. This fragmentation is basically present in Spirogyra. This is a type of blue-green algae. Okay, Spirogyra is basically an algae in which the fragmentation process takes place. Now, the third one is spore formation. Spore formation means here the organisms form reproductive structures called spores. Spores are very minute circular structures, and these spores are very small, usually spherical in shape, and very light structures with thick walls. Why they have thick walls? Because in that spore cells are present which later on develop into the new organism. These are adapted. These spores are adapted for spreading of the organism and can survive in unfavorable conditions also, because they have very thick wall. Okay, how they can survive? Because of their the thick wall on themselves. Okay, they can easily survive in the very heat and drier condition for a longer time. Once the conditions become favorable, these spores develop into the new organisms, and these spores are basically formed by ferns, mosses, mushrooms, molds, etc. Okay, the spores will get grown properly and then they will convert into the new organisms. And this type of fungal growth or spore formation you will basically see in bread. Okay, there is another activity 2 in your book. For this you need to take a piece of bread and then sprinkle some water on it, and then you can leave that bread in an open plastic box for a few days. Even this activity we had already done in the vacations. Okay, observe the surface of the bread with a magnifying glass and you will notice the fungal growth on the bread. That fungus which appears or as vertical thread-like projections, they are called hyphae, with tiny round balls on the top. Okay, and that tiny round balls are basically the spores, that they contain spores in them which are released into the air for the propagation of fungus, so that fungus can grow more. Okay, you can take out one block with the help of forceps, and then when you will place it on the glass slide and when you will cover it with a cover slip and observe in the microscope, you will see that the spores are there, and one such spore which is present in the air would have started fungal growth on the bread piece. Okay, somewhere from the air, these spores came on the bread, and then they starts to grow fungal growth on the bread. That's how fungal growth takes place on the bread. So students, for today that's enough. Hope you understood it.